When you started rebuilding, you talked about rebuilding your health, rebuilding your faith, and rebuilding your business. There's a lot of people in this room that are going through things. I think that everybody that steps foot on planet Earth, to the outside, people can say, hey, things are going great. You look great, man. Things are great. But we have some internal battles and we have things that we struggle with. And the most important thing is that we take steps further in every single day to combat those things and get well, whatever it is, and to heal. What are some of the tips you can share with the audience in building your wealth back up, building your health, and in doing in your faith, most importantly? Those are all things, because I imagine at that point you're like probably mad at God.
Yeah. I was confused. Okay. I was confused with God. To answer that question, Sean, it's the first thing I did while I was sitting in the hospital is obviously it's like everyone says I need to fix this. I needed an operating system on my life. And the name of my company was MVP. And that stood for 10 years as most valuable property. That was the whole reason why I started that company. And while I was in the hospital the night before they put the stents in, I said, that's gonna become my operating system, where MVP is gonna stand for mindset. I needed to rebuild my mindset. I had needed to master my mindset. The V, I needed a vision bigger than the one I had, because the one I had got me in trouble. It's nice to catch footballs from Tom Brady, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have a nice car and a house and go on these crazy vacations. But the vision I had did not work. I had to redesign my vision. I had to build a new vision. And then the last one was purpose. It had to be bigger than commission checks. It had to be bigger than sales volume, the $2 billion in sales volume. It had to be more than just transactional. So I had to redevelop my purpose. And so I created the framework, and then I simplified my life, and I made a decision. There's 4 things, you all have heard this before, called the 4 F's. Faith, I need to work on my faith. Okay, at that time, I prayed. I'd gone to church as a kid, but it was a very long time before I actually connected with Jesus and had a personal relationship with Jesus. So I had to work on that. The next thing was my family. My wife.
There it is. Is she here?
Yes, she's in the front row.
Where is she? Hey, girl. You the real MVP.
My wife and kids, when you're running a big business, you take it home with you. She has seen the worst version of me. She's seen the best version of me. And when you take that pain of the struggle, going through every single day to fight those battle scars, and you're trying to protect them, but they become a sounding board. So for me, I had to work on my family, okay? I had to work on my fitness. I was 65 pounds heavier than I was today. I neglected my fitness. I did not go to the gym. I did not eat right. To me, Chick-fil-A, no disrespect, that was healthy eating, right? And then the last one was my finances. Because my business didn't have an operating system. We didn't have KPIs. Basically, I was the system. So I went to work and I made a decision, unless it fits those 4 things, it no longer matters in my life. I simplified the operating system for my life.